Zach, the Celtics guy here, reporting to you from the graveyard shift. How about that? Promise I was gonna make you. Promise I was gonna make this video. So at some point. So I'm making it right now. Better, better I do it. Better I do it now. While the topics are still fresh. So you want to know the definition of Trump derangement syndrome? Well, it starts off with this channel. It starts off with this channel that I was once a fan of, but I'm not a fan of anymore because this channel has gone way downhill in quality. And I got a perfect example, and I'm going to talk about that and a couple other topics compiled into this video. And one of the primary reasons why I stopped taking this channel seriously. The Ring of Fire with Farron Cousins. The textbook definition of wanting to hike your taxes and has Trump derangement syndrome. Constant videos, one after the other, about Trump. Over and over and over again. And I'm saying this as someone who is not a fan of Trump by any stretch of the imagination, does not like the two-party system under any circumstances. So you want to know the definition of TDS? Well, keep watching and you'll find out. So I have the privilege of once in a great while I can make some content while I'm on the graveyard shift. But because on the shift can't really be yelling and screaming like a lunatic. You guys know that, you know the drill. When I'm at my own house, I can do that. In my own vehicle, I can do that. But gonna have to reel it in a little bit. Well, but I can still speak the fact. But I can still speak on the facts of the matter. So Farron Cousins. I was once a fan of this guy. I don't know why. It was just one of those reasons. I was a fan of the Young Turks at one point. I was a fan of Sam Theater. I was a fan of the Ring of Fire. I was a fan of Status Quo News. I was a fan of all these. I was a fan of the Vanguard up until recently when they completely just went downhill and lost. Now, Farron Cousins has just degraded into the textbook definition of Trump derangement syndrome. This man, this man, I rarely, if ever, see him ever talk about Democrats doing bad things. It's always Trump, it's always Republicans. Because Farron Cousins has a monopoly. His monopoly is defend Democrats no matter what. And I'm just going to do that no matter what. Now, occasionally, something good comes out of this channel. There's a segment on this channel called America's Lawyer with this guy named Mike Papantonio, who I actually think is pretty cool, but I turned out I can't comment on this channel because I was blocked on this channel. So either Farron blocked me or one of their fucking fantards that are like a moderator for the channel ended up doing that or something. So it's like whatever. I unsubbed from this channel a long fucking time ago. So it doesn't even matter to me anymore. It was like over a year ago. So the textbook definition, how many videos does this man make on Trump? Trump after Trump after Trump. He just will not stop. Constant videos. Look at every fucking day. Every motherfucking day. It's all Trump. Trump this, Trump that, Trump something, Trump this, Trump that. Oh my God, another Trump video. Look at that. You can't even go into the categories without finding a video on Trump. Isn't it unbelievable? Ah, why is that? Look at, oh my God, another Trump video. Oh my God, another Trump video. Oh, an RFK Jr. video. Oh, this or that. Oh my God, a video. Oh my God, more Carrie Lake. Oh my God, more of this, more of that. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Just a perfect example. This channel is a fucking clown show. Now, I'm going to call this channel a fucking clown show because it is. Now, look, I may have disagreed with Jimmy Dore saying that about Savvy Savs, but that's besides the point. Those two have made up. Jimmy has become a lot better. As a content creator. He's significantly better than anything these fucking shit libs ever talk about, because at least Jimmy Dore actually calls out both sides, like we do here on this channel, like the Gray Zone does, like Mint Press News does, like Chris Hedges does, like Scott Ritter does, and Richard Medhurst, and Douglas McGregor, amongst others. At least they do that. The Sheer Post, Consortium News, you go down the list, Glenn Greenwald, and many others. But I want to give a perfect example of this was like the beginning of the end of my support for Farron Cousins. This was actually a, a video that was made a long time ago. Now, this video came out around the time my views on Russia and Ukraine started to change. Oh, let's not forget, Farron Cousins also he's a he's a Ukraine ass kisser like no tomorrow. He has Vladimir Putin bad and evil, but Zelensky great no matter what. Of course, that's what he's all about. But this video came out around the same time. I this video came out around the time I my views on Russia and Ukraine started to change. I started calling that out uncensored. I started calling out the Russia-Ukraine mainstream media narrative uncensored. I started doing that more and more and more. I think by this point, I might have been in episode 15 or 16, very early on in my streaming. But what does Farron Cousins do? What does he do? Okay, he talks about Biden's gas tax holiday. Now, in the midst of record inflation, Biden wanted to suspend the gas tax. He wanted to suspend the federal gas tax. I have a mixed opinion on the gas tax. I have an approach that is way more balanced than Farron Cousins. Farron Cousins basically called for the gas tax to be raised at a time of record high prices, record high gas prices, record high housing prices, an affordability crisis in all 50 states, all throughout this nation. Because of Biden's policies, that Farron Cousins unconditionally supports, because he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot, and he has no idea how the real world works. He doesn't live in the average person's shoes. So at about the 2-minute 50-second mark, he gets to the fucking point. The first 2 minutes, he just goes on and on and on and on about what he thinks, and he's citing nefarious sources about, you save only $3 and whatever cents on the gas if you took away the gas tax, blah 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 blah. I don't think anything he said was a balanced approach, but this is what he said, and this was the beginning of the end for me with regards to this fucking dumpster fire neoliberal hack establishment channel.
The fact that the gas tax is actually used to pay for infrastructure projects here in the United States, which, we kind of need, because the $3.60 for every single American may not add up to much.
Okay, so here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like I'm just going to play it just like it's a debate. Like I'm in this debate with him, and he's talking like he's talking out of his ass. I'm just going to let him talk out of his ass, and then I'm going to respond to it. I'm going to come back and respond to it.
Because the $3.60 for every single American may not add up to much. But $3.60 from 100 million Americans every single week, yeah, the infrastructure desperately needs that money, especially now, and this is a story that's also gone grossly unreported, the fact that the infrastructure package that was passed, they're actually having trouble doing these projects now because inflation is so bad. So we got all that money, which was much less than it should have been, and now it's not even enough because of inflation.
So here's his answer. Did you hear that? Did you hear what he said? He said the money's not enough. He said that the money's not enough. So he's saying without saying it. Now, he's not going to tell you that he wants to raise the gas tax. He's not telling you that, and he's not going to tell you that because he wouldn't. He doesn't want to say it, but he's saying the quiet part out loud. He's saying the quiet part out loud is basically what he's doing here. So there you have it. He's saying, inflation is so bad. They can't get this money passed because inflation is so bad, or was at that point. Well, your answer to, at a time of inflation, your answer is to raise the gas tax even more on people. That's Farron Cousins' logic of thinking. His logic of thinking is inflation is so bad, so let's raise the gas tax. What sense does that make? On what planet? On what planet? I don't think that's a balanced approach. I really don't. First of all, you want to know the reason why that money is less than what it is? You want to know the real reason? It's because billions of dollars of the gas tax in this country is literally just siphoned. It is just sucked into a vortex because of big oil and price gouging. It is poured into like a general fund. It's supposed to go to the roads and the bridges. I mean, that was the topic at hand here. He's talking about that, and what he's specifically saying is that there's just not enough. So he's saying that the gas tax that we already have is not enough. Now, you can feel the pain in his, you can see the pain in his face criticizing his martyr Joe Biden. You see it right there. Now, the reason, and now let me get back to my original point here. What I'm trying to say is that you're wondering why, oh, because inflation is so bad. No, that's actually not the reason. That's not the reason why the money is not enough. Here's the reason. Because billions of dollars of that gas tax money is sucked into a vortex where it just disappears. And then when the money disappears, what happens? Then politicians and defenders of those politicians, like Farron Cousins, says things like, the infrastructure in our country is so bad, we desperately need that money. Joe Biden is suspending the gas tax. Oh my God, the pain inside that we feel and everything. We need that money. We need that money. Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. We do need that money. But here's the reality of the situation now. The reality is that money, the little bit of money that is left, that is sucked into big oil, because big oil is literally in everybody's pockets. That's the reason why they've jacked up the prices then they went down a little bit, and now they're going back up again as of late. So you see, big oil is in there. It has nothing to do with inflation. Inflation has nothing to do with it. And if you want to blame inflation, you need to blame the guy that you're supporting, Farron. I mean, get your fucking head out of your ass. But you don't, because you got TDS, and you think Trump is literally to blame for everything. And I am no fan of Trump. I'm an ardent critic of Trump. I've criticized Trump on multiple occasions, and I will say that. Oh, and I've said it over and over and over again. But what you believe in is, you believe in billions of dollars in new transit projects. You talk about new infrastructure projects. You're talking about something like trillions of dollars in new transit projects. I mean, the question here is, for parts of the United States, parts of where people go from rural places from one end of this country to the other, to the bigger cities for work and stuff like that. Now those people are struggling. They're still struggling with high gas prices, high inflation, and whatnot. But someone like Farron Cousins, who has absolutely no idea how the economy works and has no idea how economics works, and he thinks that there's just not enough money. There's just not enough money. No, I got news for you. There is enough money. There is enough money there. It's just that money is siphoned away into a black hole where it just disappears. It happens year after year. It's been happening year after year. But this is something that people like him and establishment shills will never say. That's what they always say about the gas tax. That's what they'll say about any type of tax whatsoever. His proposal is higher taxes. But the thing is, the gas tax money that is supposed to be used for the roads and the bridges, it is drained out of the construction for far too long, for literally far too long in way too many parts of this country. We have obstructed roads and bridges from being fixed for decades, and in certain places we have seen, and then when there's that, there's a revenue shortfall, and then there's cuts to local aid and cuts to the highway revenue fund by up to 96 to 98%. Here in Massachusetts, that once happened under the corrupt Deval Patrick administration, which he cut by up to 87%, and then that delayed regional and municipal and metropolitan roads from being built and fixed. It was an unmitigated disaster in terms of that guy and the Democrats here on Beacon Hill here in Massachusetts. That's the name of the government that actually runs shit here in Massachusetts. But and then talking about that, oh, the gas tax go up with inflation. I voted to repeal that here in Massachusetts. I've actually made videos about that. Go back and watch my videos on Deval Patrick and how I've talked about the gas tax in other videos. So to save you another, 10 minutes of explanation, go back and watch those videos. So that's the reason why I have no respect for Farron Cousins at this point, because because of that. And look, we have to use the money that we already have and get big oil out of our pockets. Listen, Farron, if you want better roads and better infrastructure, we need to fix the backlog of road projects. We need to do the backlog of road projects and fix roads rather than talking about billions of dollars in new spending. You're talking almost trillions of dollars in new spending. But then Farron's going to say, oh, well, you're painting a distorted picture of what you're saying. Buh, 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 buh. That's what they all say. I'm like, no, that's good. Well, I mean, and then they say, oh, what I'm saying is not true. No, what I'm saying is true. And this has been debunked over and over and over again by multiple different sources. I mean, big oil is in people's pockets. I mean, they take billions of dollars out of the highway revenue fund and out of the federal gas tax money. Everybody knows it. Apparently, everybody but Farron and people that defend him. I mean, I have a completely different opinion. How would Zach, the Celtics guy, handle the gas tax? How would I do it? I would keep the gas tax. I would keep it the way it is. I would not raise it like Farron wants to do and other Democrats want to do. This is the problem. This is the reason why. Why do leftists have such a bad name in so many different ways? It's because of people like Farron. When you're talking about taxes and billions of dollars to pay for new spending, instead of using the money that we already have, then that scares people away. The idea of tax increases in these very tough economic times, that's going to hurt people even more. That's going to hurt the people that you claim to defend, Farron. That's the problem here. You always say it. You always talk about crumbling roads and bridges. You always talk about that type of thing. But Farron doesn't seem to understand that. And how I would handle it, I would pay for our roads and bridges. I would invest that money. It's not a lack of money, as I've said over and over and over again on this channel. The problem is, it's not a lack of money. It's a lack of investment, because big oil doesn't delays roads and bridges across this nation from being fixed for decades and decades. And local aid being cut by between 87 and 98%. That's happened over and over and over again. That has been the case for years. But somehow Farron is just somehow remembering that even exists in the first place. It's been an unmitigated disaster in terms of transportation. Has been a big problem all throughout this nation. I would invest that money into every road, bridge, and interstate, everything in this country. I'm not going to raise taxes to do it. I wouldn't, even though I'm a Marxist-Leninist, even though I'm a socialist and a Marxist. I believe in that. I believe in a socialistic economy, a socialistic idea. I have socialist ways. I'm not going to raise taxes. I'm opposed to tax increases. I believe in using the money that we already have. We don't jeopardize our business climate. We use that money, or we already have. We pay taxes just like everybody does. We all pay taxes. We pay taxes. Our dollars go to stuff. That's how we do it. We take that money and we use it for our roads and bridges. It's not a lack of money. It's a lack of investment. And I would invest that money and I would do that to fix the backlog of county and municipal roads and all these other things before we start talking about billions of dollars in new spending. And you say that. And what I would always say to anybody who wants to raise the gas tax like Farron Cousins, because he's a fucking idiot and he talks like this. As I've said over and over and over again, hey, newsflash. The gas tax is being wasted. Let's get big oil out of people's pockets. Until you get big oil out of people's pockets, there's not going to be much change. You got to get big oil out of pockets and get the government out of people's pockets. You got to get big government. You got to get the big bureaucracy and the big oil companies out of people's pockets, because they're the ones that are price gouging us. And a gas tax increase would just hurt people more. Look at California as a perfect example. They have the highest gas tax in the nation, yet their roads rank as amongst the very worst in the entire United States of America. So that goes to show that, and yet states with lower taxes, ironically, Florida, New Hampshire, Ironically, Alabama actually has some of the best roads. I know, fucking Alabama. I know you're shocked. Um, let's see, what's the other ones? I think Iowa, Indiana, maybe the Carolinas. I'm forgetting the numbers. Um, and you know, I mean, even here in Massachusetts, I mean, our road conditions are mixed at best. I mean, there's some roads that are good, there are other roads that are horrible. So to do that, we need to get big oil out of people's pockets, and we're not going to follow Farron's idea, because Farron's idea is riddled with incompetence and is just riddled with everything. I mean, this guy just cannot be taken seriously. It's just a complete and utter. And this is one of the primary reasons why I'm not a fan of him anymore. Why I unsubscribed from him a long time ago, because this guy just lives in a dream world. This guy lives in a Democrat shill dream world where he believes in taxes for everything. No, higher taxes are not the answer. That's not the way of the middle class. That hurts the middle class. That hurts the very people that you claim to care about. And as I've said over and over and over again, if you don't drain billions of dollars out of the fund, you wouldn't need to raise the gas tax anymore. That's the difference. If you actually used the gas tax for what it is intended for, it's not inflation, it's not a lack of money, it's a lack of investment. And it's big oil and corruption in people's pockets. That's the key point. Get big oil out of there and use the money for what it's intended for. I was saying that the big oil drains the billions of dollars out of the fund. If you don't have billions of dollars being drained out of the gas tax money, then you could do all these types of things. So you do. Farron always says that. Oh, well, roads and bridges are crumbling, and oh, this and that, and oh my God, and their traffic and every blah 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 blah. And it's not enough money. It's not enough money. It is enough money. It's just the money's being wasted by big oil and Democrat politicians and other, Republican politicians as well, of course, and just by everybody and by every politician. That's the key point. And you need to get your head out of your ass and understand that. If you don't drain billions of dollars out of the gas tax money, then you wouldn't need to raise the gas tax again. And you wouldn't have to have billions of dollars of increases in new taxes and new spending. That's what makes all the difference in the world. If you use the gas tax for what it's intended for, then you wouldn't have that problem. Simple tells the story. Simple tells the story. That's my proposal. That's how I would do it. Farron lives in a dream world. He's riddled with TDS, incompetence, wants to raise the gas tax, doesn't give a fuck about anybody. And he's a joke. He's a complete joke. And that's why I'm not a fan of him anymore. Not just for that, but millions of reasons. Although that was for millions of other reasons, but that was one of the primary reasons of why I unsubbed from him a long time ago. So yeah, if you use the money for what it's intended for, then you wouldn't have that problem. But people like Farron Cousins, they'll never get it. It'd be like explaining this type of thing to them would be like pissing into the ocean and expecting the piss to have an effect on the ocean's current or the high tide and the low tide. You're not going to get through with people like that. So, whatever. Believe what you want. Just go. Shoot. Yeah. Get. Whatever. Bye, Felicia. And that's pretty much all I have to say for right now. So anyway, thank you all for watching. I got to get back to the graveyard shift here. Now I have to get back to the graveyard shift here. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you all learned something. Yeah, the Ring of Fire, not recommended. I'm pretty sure if you watch this channel, you're not into Democrat Shilling and TDS and everything. Because if you were, you wouldn't be watching my channel. You'd be watching a certain guy who talks like this, that the Celtic guy. That's who you'd be watching. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I will be back with another video later today. It's a very important video I've also got to discuss. And then my stream tomorrow. I got plenty more topics to discuss on my day off, which is tomorrow, and a whole bunch of other stuff in the works. Stay tuned. Until then, stay safe, stay well, stay classy, keep fighting, keep on rocking, keep up the good fight. Till next time, take care of yourselves and all of each other. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace and so long.